Chenzo's Go Crypto Investing, this emergency quick April the 21st, 2024 on Commodity Mondays update. You can see the gold bullion again is almost to that $3,500 target. It's up $100 an ounce again, 3%. It's up to 34, a new record high. Ding, 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 ding. Again, a new record high. And we were only $60 or so away from when old Vincenzo came out onto this channel with this cup and handle. And this is the first mover advantage. This is the reason you need to become members of Jabroni Killers with the truth, trust, education, and information. Nobody in the crypto sphere was talking about gold. We put this massive cup and handle pattern that we've had ever since the financial crisis of 2006, 7, 8, 9 formed the cup, right? And then you can see the rounding bottom forming the cup there. Then you came up to your double top high from the COVID 2020 in August through the 2011 financial crisis down to the point of the cup is your targeted move. And then you broke out into the handle here and we diagnosed, sniffed this out, gave you the first mover advantage. God, every time I get on here, all these things want to update. Gave you the first mover advantage. Nobody else was talking about it on here in the crypto sphere or in the gold sphere for the targets that we had. Laid out what that cup and handle, one of the most bullish formations you can get. A targeted move would be from the neckline double top in 2011 till August of 2020, the rounding bottom, the point of the breakout, which got us up to $3,538 for our target. And we made that prediction way, way back here with the first mover when nobody else was talking about it. We made that back here. This is when we started making videos, or springtime 2020, just after the gold dump. I think our first video was in April, March. So somewhere in here is when we made our first video on gold. We laid this out where gold was going. Gold had the quick run up and then a 2-year consolidation in the handle. We laid out what the thing was going on, what that pattern was, and how that was very bullish. We were sitting down here at $1,600 an ounce when we made this prediction of $3,500. And the gold bullion itself, the bullion, not the mining stocks, the bullion is up 102.78%. It's up $480 an ounce, $480 an ounce in the last 3 weeks. We're going to hit that $3,500 target, should be this week. There could be some kind of a technical sell-off after hitting a technical breakout target of a long pattern. But then eventually we're going to be going to $5,000 gold, right? And old Vincenzo told you $3,500 was coming. We have a $50 silver coming soon. See the $50? And we have a big pattern that we have here, the same as we had in gold. We laid out why back in 2020, why we were going to go to 50. And then eventually we're going to go to 100. I think at minimum 100 to 150. But in the short term, we're going to go up to 50. It's going to be a hyper pump, just like gold's done the last 12 months. Silver will do it quicker, and it's going to be spectacular to see. And remember, we started making these predictions back in 2020 when the price of silver was down here at 16, 15, $17 that we were going to get to 50. We got up as high as $35 last year. We're going to have a hyper pump up to 50. And it's going to get exacerbated to the upside because the Federal Reserve, they're talking about auditing it for the first time in 65 years, a real audit, an audit with cameras, an audit where the general public and the United States citizens can watch the audit, can see the gold and inventory and see what's actually in there. And the United States government and the Federal Reserve for the last year have been buying and picking up what they're buying, massive amounts of physical delivery. Central banks around the world and the Federal Reserve is leading the purchasing of physical bullion to fill up those reserves, just in case there is an audit that they have the gold that we say we have, and that's causing mass buying of the physical precious metal. The manipulation in the market on the paper side is being forced out. These short sellers that have been forcing the price of gold down and suppressing it for decades are being shorted out of the market. They're being bullied out of the market by the bulls and by the buying of the physical metal itself. And this is an historic event. The US dollar is under assault. It's down $1.10 again today. It's broken down to 98.55. It's confirming a breakdown out of this 13-year rising channel. It's threatening to come down to 92 when the dollar tanks, gold prices soar, and Donald Trump is trying to force Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. even though he's not planning on it because of inflation with the tariffs and the overall economy. But if he forces Jerome Powell's hands by either firing him and putting in somebody else, or just threatening to fire him and political pressure to force him to lower rates, it's going to exacerbate the selling of the dollar. It's going to exacerbate the pumping and bullishness in the gold bullion market and these mining stocks that we own. I'm not telling you to buy them. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is the portfolio that we own. It just hit $37,000 today. We're up another $700 today. We got the B2 gold. We got the Kinross gold. We got the Barrick gold, the First Majestic, the Fortuna, the Pan America silver, and the Rivian, the one downside in our portfolio. But all these mining stocks are doing very, very well. We've been advertising these for a very long time that I own them, not that you should own them, but that I own them. And if you want to get this first mover advantage, if you want to get the true trust, that's not what we want. Truth, trust, education, and information, right? You need to become members of the Brony Killers. And it's as easy as it should be going to my page. I don't know what it's doing today. It's not going to my homepage like it normally does, but you can go into the video description and or the pinned comment, hit at Jabroni Pillars or join. $3.99 a month, the industry cheapest, the industry cheap and best value, which was strategically made, the cheapest and best value, so that we could spread the message, we could spread the word, and we could get influence on as many people as we can. You can see what we talked about this weekend in a real quick crypto update here. This is an emergency video. I am at work. It is not lunch like it could be. We pumped up in the cryptocurrency price, I believe, as a reaction to the US dollar sell off this morning. And you can see, like we talked about yesterday, though, that we could come up to this $90,000 at a technical level. If we zoom out into the daily time frame and look at the volume, you can see we had a little bit of an uptick in volume today, but an overall descending volume ever since this reversal started right here 2 Fridays ago coming up. So I would look for a potential high, but a rejection point of the 90,000 like we talked about yesterday. If we look at quickly XLM, you can see we've had a nice pump in XLM and we did breach that 25.5 cents. An area and the volume is coming up too. So that's going to be something to watch. This is an area that we thought we could hit last weekend on the weekend pump advisory. And now you can see it's doing a technical classic thing where it's breaking back above this. And like we talked about yesterday, we're retesting and trying to take old major support levels and turn them into major resistance levels. And right now we're getting back on top and trying to hold it as support, because if we get back below it and start using it as resistance on the downside, it's going to confirm it as major resistance when it used to be major support. Or if we can hold it and temporarily hold it as support, you could pump up to the 50-day moving average. So we're going to be watching out for that in XRP. And the same thing with our XLM and XRP is the same thing. Last week we came above in that weekend pump above the neckline, got rejected by the overhead moving averages. Told you last week we would trade sideways to along the neckline and then slither below it. And then it's going to have to confirm either a breakdown, which would be confirming this as major resistance when it's been major support, or it's going to have to get on top of it and try to build the base and then break the moving averages to bust out and keep this as a major support level, right? Like the channel, subscribe, become members of Jabroni Killers, and we're going to continue to give you the education, the information, and the truth that you need to trade and to trade this market. Peace and love. Direct side, bro. Jade.